part of the class, that is going to school, the chapter 1 of our environmental science book. So far we have learned about the state called Assam, Rajasthan, Ladakh, and how do the students travel from one place to another where normal means of transportation is not easily available. So let's imagine one thing. We suppose we live in a rural area where normal means of transportation, say bus, auto, rickshaw and all these things are not easily available, and we have to wait for a long time to get on it. And because the distance of the school from our home is so far away that parents sometimes are not willing to send their children, especially girls, to go to school. So what would a student, especially a girl, do when the school is far away from home and no means of transportation is easily available? So what would the students do? So normally we have seen a special vehicle called bicycle. What is bicycle? Bicycle is a vehicle that has two wheels on it and there are pedals, and we can pedal on it and go from one place to another pretty easily. So what has the government done? The government has, to aid the students who cannot go to school that easily as the school is far away from home, the government has provided bicycles to the students, especially to the girls, to increase the number of students which go to school. So the girls ride their bicycle on the long roads to go to school rather than walking. Walking takes longer time to go, and it is not safe all the time for the girls to go to school via walking. So not 7-8 girls together, they form groups, they can easily ride even through the difficult roads, even through the fields, even if the school is 30 to 40 minutes away, they all are together, they all are in a group and they use the bicycle to go from one place to another. Okay. So next on, if we imagine a place where it is surrounded by jungles all around. There are some places in India where the natural vegetation, that is the forests, are so thick and so dense that even the normal roads that which people used to travel is through the jungle. মানে ওই জায়গাগুলির মধ্যে normal রাস্তা বা পাকা রাস্তা বা পিচ রাস্তা বা মাটির রাস্তা available না। In states such as Madhya Pradesh, Jharkhand, Odisha, there is dense forest in some parts of the city or some parts of the state. So ekhon what will the students do? What do the students, they have to go to school. If they want to go to school, there is no other way than going through the forest. So the places of India, the villages of India where the roads are not easily accessible or there are no pakka roads or no kacha roads even, the students have to go through the jungle. The students cross the jungle together, 4 to 5 students go together and they reach school via crossing the jungle. And while crossing the jungle, imagine the scenario. Sometimes the jungles are so thick and so dense that sunlight doesn't reach the ground. মানে কি এত অন্ধকার থাকে যে সূর্যের আলো, আর there are huge trees, much larger and much bigger than all of us. তো ওই ট্রিজ গুলো সবগুলি মিলে একটা ডেন্স একটা ক্যানোপি বলে, যেটাকে একটা ছাদের মতো তৈরি করে, যার জন্য the sunlight cannot reach directly the ground, and because of that even during the daytime the land, the ground of the forest is pretty dark. So এই অন্ধকারের মধ্যে কিন্তু স্টুডেন্ট গুলির একজন একজনের সাথে একসাথে মিলেমিশে যেতে লাগে, which is quite scary. In the very beginning it's quite scary, but the people have gotten used to it now. They are the locals, ওরা এখানে animals কি পাওয়া যায় এগুলির সাথে ওরা পরিচিতি হয়ে গেছে. Sometimes when we are going through, they are going through the forest, they hear the sound of different kinds of birds and they try to guess যে এটা কি পাখির ডাক, এটা কি পাখির ডাক হলো, এটা কি পাখির ডাক দিল, কোনো কোকিল ডাক দিল. But there are various kinds of birds which are found in the forest যেটা normally শহরে বা ভিলেজও হয়তো directly পাওয়া যাবে না, যেগুলো একদম ডেন্স থিক ফরেস্টের মধ্যে পাওয়া যায়. So the students of Madhya Pradesh Chhattisgarh, Orissa or some other parts of the country where there is thick and dense forest, students have to go through the forest, and they also have to be very minute about not making any noise or be silent. চুপচাপ থাকতে লাগবে যাতে ওই প্যাসেজওয়েতে যাওয়ার সময় ওরা কোনো অ্যানিমালসদেরকে বা কোনো বার্ডসদেরকে যাতে ডিস্টার্ব না করে, কারণ ফরেস্ট ইজ দেয়ার ন্যাচারাল হ্যাবিটেট। ফরেস্টই হলো গিয়ে এমন একটা জায়গা যেখানে ওয়াইল্ড লাইফ থাকছে। So you have to make sure that while going through the forest they do not disturb the natural wildlife that is present there, and they can go about doing their business. ওরা যেখানে ক্রস করে স্কুলে যাবে ওদের ইন্টেনশন ওরা স্কুলে গেল, আর বাকি অ্যানিমালসগুলিও যাতে ডিস্টার্ব না হয় ওইটার দিকে ওদের খেয়াল রাখতে লাগবে। সো মুভিং অন, সে আমরা এখন ইন্ডিয়া নর্দার্ন পার্ট অফ দ্য কান্ট্রিতে গেলাম, ঠিক আছে, যেখানে উইচ ইজ সারাউন্ডেড বাই হিমালয়াস, যেমন জম্মু অ্যান্ড কাশ্মীর, হয়তো আমরা অনেকেই ট্রাভেল করেছি কাশ্মীরে। So there are parts where it is very cold, especially during the winter. Winter e normally আমাদের স্টেটের মধ্যে it's quite cold, টেম্পারেচার 3 ডিগ্রি 4 ডিগ্রি হয়ে যায়, বাট জিরোর পরে যখন হয়, যখন -1 -10 -20 হয়, তখন কি হয় যেটা আমাদের এখানে কোনো সময় হয়নি, নর্দার্ন পার্ট অফ দ্য কান্ট্রিতে when the temperature goes below 0 degree it snows, খুব ঠান্ডা থাকে, প্রচণ্ড ঠান্ডা থাকে। নর্মাল সিজনে it's pretty cold and especially during the winters it gets very cold and it even snows. So several places in India such as Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Arunachal Pradesh receive snowfall and the ground is covered with a layer of snow. How do the students go to school in such situation? Normally আমাদের এখানে ঠান্ডা যখন হয়, when we have to wake up early in the morning, say at 6 AM or even 6:30, we are not willing to go to school or even go out of home. ব্ল্যাঙ্কেট ছেড়ে যে বেরোতে লাগবে সেটাই অনেক বড় কাজ মনে হয়, বাট ওদের ভাবো, imagine the situation where they are living in such cold and such temperature most of the time, and they are still willing to go to schools. So what do? They have no other way other than walking through the snow. ওরা সবাই একসাথে, say there is a group of 7-8 students, they move on the snow, they hold their hands together so that they don't slip. So the students go to school through miles of snow, sometimes the entire region is covered in snow, but they can't miss school, they have to go to school, they are willing to go to school, they want to go to school, but so they walk through the snow even during this cold weather, even when the temperature is pretty harsh, they are willing to go to school. What have the students of Kashmir said? They said that they hold hands and walk together carefully. If the snow is soft, মাঝে মধ্যে স্নোটা যদি সে নরম শক্ত না, our feet sink into it, কাদার মধ্যে যেমন পা ডুবে যায়, বের করতে অসুবিধা হয়, likewise if the snow is very soft, ঠিক আছে, তো তখন হাঁটতে 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 কি হয়, ফিটটা সিঙ্ক হয়ে যায়, এটার মধ্যে পাটা ডুবে যায়, তো তখন the other students who are there, they help the student that has sunk to be up, যে উপরে উঠতে হেল্প করে। So when the snow is frozen, যখন বরফটা একদম শক্ত ফ্রোজেন, আমরা যখন when we keep water in the deep freezer and the water becomes very hard and slippery, so when the snow is frozen sometimes the students slip and fall, so it's pretty fun, they walk together, they play and they go to school. But for walking on snow there is a specially designed shoe, ওরা বুটস পরে যায়, নর্মাল শুগুলো যেগুলি আছে এগুলি দিয়ে আমাদের অসুবিধা হবে হাঁটতে। তো স্টুডেন্টসরা যারা আছে, they cover themselves, obviously we can't just wear a shirt and a pant or a skirt and just go about, it is pretty cold, so they have to wear special protection, they wear warm clothes, they wear woolen clothes and cover their heads and head and everything, and they use anti-skid boots যেগুলি স্লিপ কাটবে না, ঠিক আছে, যেগুলি গ্রিপ করতে সুবিধা হবে এই স্লিপারি বরফের মধ্যে, so they all go about together and move on the snow like this, that is they usually walk, so you can even use a stick, ঠিক আছে, যেমন ট্রেকিং করতে যায় যখন আমরা একটা হাতে স্টিক নিয়ে সেরে ব্যালেন্স ক্রিয়েট করে 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 যাই, সেম ভাবে the students can go on like this, that is they move on the snow in parts where it is very cold and in parts where it snows. Moving on to the last part of the chapter, that is Uttarakhand. Uttarakhand is a state where which is very rocky. ঠিক আছে, if some of us have heard about a place, a pilgrimage called the Kedarnath, which is situated over here, যেখানে অনেক মানুষ যায় during the summer season. ঠিক আছে, during the winter it is pretty cold and the area is not accessible, it's not easy to just walk by. So Uttarakhand is a place where it has rough and rugged terrain. Rugged terrain আমরা ফার্স্ট ক্লাসে পড়েছিলাম, যেটা লাদাখের মধ্যেও ছিল। তো উত্তরাখণ্ড হলো গিয়ে এমন একটা এরিয়া যেখানে it has a rugged terrain, that is it is rough and rocky, it is not plain, it is not snowy. Some parts of Uttarakhand though it snows, but উত্তরাখণ্ডের most of the places ই হলো গিয়ে তো uneven থাকে, পাথর দিয়ে ভর্তি এরিয়াটা। সো এটা উঁচু নিচু তার উপর পাথর, সো ওই জায়গা দিয়ে নর্মালি হাঁটাও কিন্তু অনেকটা টাফ হয়ে যায়। But you have to go to school. So what do the students of Uttarakhand, previously known as Uttaranchal, do? So they live in the mountainous areas. The areas are rough and steep and has stones and rocks and all around. So it is not easy to walk on it. The children who live in the plains, যারা প্লেন এরিয়াতে নর্মালি থাকে, মানে যারা এমন রাফ এরিয়া রাগেড এরিয়া দেখেনি, the students on the plains will find it difficult to walk through these rocks or to walk through this path, কারণ ওদের হেঁটে অভ্যাস নেই। But the students of Uttarakhand are quite used to it, ওদের খুব অভ্যাস হয়ে গেছে। They live in the mountains and they can easily race up and race down the slopes and race down the rocky terrain pretty easily. So they have gotten used to it. So despite the disturbances, despite the problems that these students face, the rainy part of Assam where it water accumulates all over, there is knee high water, they use bamboo bridge. People of Ladakh, the students of Ladakh use a trolley, so they use all these things, and people of Uttaranchal just walk on the rocky terrain. People of Kashmir, people of Himachal Pradesh, people of Arunachal Pradesh walk on the snow. Sometimes people use a bridge to go from one place to another, but they are always willing to go to the schools. So what are the probable questions that can come from this? Name a few places in India where dense forest is found. How do students go to school in areas covered with thick forest? How do students go to school when the school is far away and proper means of public vehicles is not available? How do students of the snow covered regions go to school? How do students in the rocky areas of Uttarakhand go to school? So despite all the problems they face, the students are always willing and always excited to go to school, and we should be too. I hope you have understood this chapter. It is very easy. There are some terms that you need to remember, but apart from it, it is a very exciting and interesting chapter. That is all for the first section of this. Thank you.